Let it sit on slate for 10 seconds.
From Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Welcome into Sports Tonight. Sorry, trying to get our mics up. It's Monday.
Welcome. It's Monday.
Bailey Burmester alongside Lee Smith. We have a lot to discuss.
We do.
It is Monday, but last night was Sunday night. What?
You're just going to dismiss the fact that I haven't been here in 2 months?
Well, everyone knows you by
I'm
now.
just rusty.
Everyone.
I'm rusty.
Lee Smith, back on the program. Okay.
Hello. All right, great. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So we're going to talk about Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs just edging out the Falcons a little bit. We got to talk about the Braves because they have a massive series coming up. The Atlanta Dream still in the postseason, but they are playing for their lives on Tuesday. And then the one everyone is going to have their eyes on Saturday, it's College Game Day. Georgia headed to Tuscaloosa for the first time since 2020. And then we'll wrap up with what's on our mind. But Lee, let's start with your thoughts on what went down on Sunday Night Football.
Okay. So the Falcons look vastly improved over what they have been since essentially, 2017, last time they made the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But they still can't quite get over that hump against, one of the best teams. Well, best teams last couple of years for sure. Patrick Mahomes didn't really do that great. Mm-hmm. Didn't really win them the game. He didn't lose them the game. So I think the defense actually played pretty well. They were a little soft on the run game. You want to tighten that up a little bit, but the offense, third downs, 2 of 9.
2 of
Again,
9, 4 of 18 the last two
the
games.
second straight week, 2 of 9 on third downs. That's just not going to win in the NFL, and I don't really know how you fix that.
No.
That's just it either is something your team has or they don't have, and it just feels like they had that game last night. They had everything going for them, minus McGarry and Dahlman getting hurt on the offensive line. It feels like they just had momentum, and for that defensive line for the Chiefs stepped up.
Yeah, I think you see the Falcons building some good blocks, but we have yet really to see this team completely put together. And it makes me nervous for what's coming to town this upcoming Sunday in the Saints, because at that point, you're 4 games in, we've seen what we've seen, and you're not going to change a whole lot. I think defensively, the team looks really sound. All the pieces they've added have really come together. I thought they contained Mahomes as much as you can contain him. Jesse Bates continues to look amazing. Justin Simmons gets another interception on Mahomes.
They got to be up there in the best safety duos.
For sure. And Justin Simmons isn't young.
No. I mean,
he has the most interceptions of any player in the NFL on Patrick Mahomes. So I like the defensive unit a lot. Offensively, I think they're coming along, but I still think there's a lot to be desired, especially with the pieces that you have. Something that I think is interesting is, Darnell Mooney seemed to be the go-to guy, and he was an off-season pickup. Where is Kyle Pitts? Where's the run game with Bijan Robinson? They only had 82 rushing yards.
Yep.
Where was the run game? You got to get that going.
They got outgained by an undrafted rookie.
I think Drake London played good, but once again, I felt like Darnell Mooney was more of the safety blanket for Kirk Cousins in that one. And ultimately, yes, the third downs are an issue, but Patrick Mahomes tried to hand you that game twice, and you didn't capitalize. So
which is rare.
Yes.
He doesn't do that.
No, and it's Sunday Night Football on a big stage. So I just think you really have to take a hold of those opportunities, and that's something they lacked to do. So we'll see what they're able to come away with when they host the Saints. But let's go to some sound from post-game. We'll hear from Raheem Morris and quarterback Kirk Cousins.
You feel like you snatched defeat from the jaws of victory is kind of how it felt a little bit, if I'm saying that right. It was a great atmosphere tonight. Our fan base was phenomenal. It was a great environment, and it was great to start fast. I was really proud of the way our defense held up in the second half and kept getting us the ball back, giving us opportunities. And, there's just plenty I can point to that wasn't good enough to win this game tonight, but still felt like it was right there for us to win. And when you don't do it, it leaves you with a pretty sickening feeling. So that's life in this league, and we got to build from it. And as we move forward now to the NFC South opponents here, we got to just figure out ways to be a better football team and be an ascending football team that plays complementary football off of each other. And certainly feel like we have the pieces we need to be successful, but there's obviously more out to go get to play better, to be able to win more consistently. Take any questions you have.
Yeah, Kurt, what was your vantage point on the 4th and 1, the sweep that ended the game for you all?
Yeah, just kind of reversed out and handed it off, and then from there didn't have too much of a vantage point. So there's not much I can offer you. Yeah.
And last week I ended with a question on the third downs on the start this week. It
Yep.
was the same, 2 and 9.
Yep.
Where y'all got to dig down
Yeah.
in there to get some continuity, get the third downs going for you.
Yes, I think it's important that we stay in third and manageable, and I think we were in better third and manageable tonight than we were week 1, but we've got to do all the things you got to do on third down, which is to see it right, throw it right with accuracy, get the ball out, protect well, get open, all those things, and haven't been good enough. Got to be better moving forward.
And I'm sorry, I gave it the mic, sorry. But losing 2 linemen mid-game, how tough is that, and how the guys
Yeah.
coming in for you, Ryan?
Yeah.
And,
I thought Storm did a very good job at right tackle. I thought Ryan did a phenomenal job at center. There's so many moving parts with the center as far as protection calls, pistol snaps, gun snaps, under center snaps, handling cadence. I thought Ryan did a phenomenal job stepping in and handling a lot. It'll be good to have a week's worth of work with him coming up to build that rapport further. But Storm and him both, I think, stepped up in a major way.
Darnell, second row here. Darnell mentioned a lull in the second and third quarter.
Yeah.
What was the disconnect there from your vantage point?
I don't have a great answer for you. I think each play kind of is its own entity, but I'd agree with him that we didn't sustain drives enough in the second and third quarter. Certainly the end of both halves was disappointing.
Yeah, Kurt, it seemed like you started out with a good rhythm between London and Mooney earlier in the game. What happened?
I thought we had a good rhythm, start of the game, a good rhythm, at the end of the game. As we were alluding to, there did seem to be a bit of a lull in the middle of the game, and for any number of reasons, kind of each play is its own entity.
Yeah. How did the adjustment that the Chiefs were able to make in terms of slowing down the run game affect your overall offensive game plan?
Yeah, they did a good job, trying to contain the run game for the most part. It kind of leaves you in some longer yardage situations at times, but we still want to establish the run game, commit to it, not abandon it, and I thought Zach did a good job of still getting opportunities for us to run the football.
Okay. And last question, you had a couple of key turnovers there. Can you talk a little bit about what went into those?
Yeah, just my arm got hit on the interception. Was just kind of working the corner out to Kyle and was trying to get the ball out to him, and once your arm gets hit, the ball goes up, and you're kind of powerless at that point to control where it lands. But it's tough play.
Kurt, you feel like you were going to get a flag in the back of the end zone there to Kyle?
I didn't have a good viewpoint on it. It was tough. I was anticipating working Mooney, and when the safety then was there, came back to Kyle, but I felt like I was a little late to get to him and was running out of real estate. And in hindsight, if I had to play over again, I either would have gotten to Kyle earlier, or if I were to get to him as late as I did, to put the ball up higher and to not even really put it in the ref's hands at that point. That's kind of where I, would correct my own play there.
Not necessarily specifically that play, but as a quarterback, are there times when you think, I might get a PI here. I'll either get a completion or maybe I'll get a PI because of the way this play looks in my eye.
I think it's more that you want to give a guy an opportunity and throw with some anticipation and give him a chance, and then from there, you never know. So there were a couple tonight that we got. There were a couple that I feel, I would like to have back as far as trying to put the ball. I was kind of fading away on a couple of them. If there's a free runner trying to anticipate where to put the ball, and if I could do it over again, knowing what I know now, probably would have tried to place it in a slightly different spot to either get the PI or get a completion.
Kirk, with 3 games under your belt now, how do you evaluate this offense? Do you feel like you guys are building the right blocks? Do you feel like you're on the cusp of really breaking through offensively?
I think we have a lot of the pieces we need to be successful. I think we have to get better. I think we've left a lot of opportunities out on the field so far, but I think most offenses would say that around this league right now. I look forward to the challenge, starting right away this week of just trying to be a better offense as we move forward, because I do think that we can be. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Hard game, hard-fought game, and they came out on top. And with that, I open up.
Any updates on Domin and McGarry?
I'm not sure right now. I get better detailed information on those guys. I just know they didn't return to the game. I know they wanted to if they could, and they were unable to go. So don't have anything on those guys yet.
How difficult was that without those 2 guys on the line?
We won't make excuses about that, man. I got a 69-man roster, like I told everybody at the beginning of the season. Love the guys I got, and the guys that went out there and they fought for us against whoever, and I'll go out there and battle with whoever we got on our football team.
Third week in a row, this offense is 2 of 9 on third down. I know it's not one size fits all, but how crucial are those moments for these games?
Each individual week is his week, and we were 2 of 9 this week on third down, and we got to go out there and get better. In order to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, you like to be able to convert some of those. That'll help. That would affect time of possession. That would affect some of the plays they get on our defense. That can also affect the scoreboard. So every individual week, that's something we got to get better at, and we'll go work on those things, get those better.
Run game was pretty bottled up throughout majority of the 4 quarters. What were you kind of seeing their defense do to kind of bottle that up a little bit?
They did a nice job of stemming to some jam fronts. Nice job getting to some 25 fronts, doing some different things in the under. Nice job of sending some saw zeros, being able to get us some pressures and things of that nature. They just did a nice job. You got to give Spags a lot of credit for what he's able to do. Able to force the issue, trying to make you pass the ball, not allow you to run. Didn't let Bijan and Algier get going. Great job by those guys. Hats off.
Coach, we were just on the phone with the league office. They said the third down play was a judgment call on the field. And they didn't see the pass interference. It looked like it was clearly pass interference on the replay.
I like my money, Led.
Huh?
I like my money that
Well,
Arthur Blank gives me.
Point on the play. You don't have to get fined for that.
Yeah, you do. I'm very smart enough to be aware enough to talk about officials. They made the call, or they didn't make the call. It is what it is. We had a chance to win the football game on the last play of the game.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coach, what went into your assessment and decision to go for it there on fourth down late in the fourth quarter as opposed to taking the field goal, relying on your defense to get you the ball back?
I was in 4-down territory for a while there. We were going out there to win this football game. We didn't come here to tie. We didn't come here to lose. We didn't come here to hope we win. We didn't come here to allow Patrick Mahomes to work his magic. We came here to win the football game on our terms, and I lost it. So I'll take that medicine all day.
Coach, second week in a row, 2 of 9 on third downs. What's happening there?
He just missed that question, Led. Every week in a row, every week is very different. This week we were not allowed to get our third downs. They did a nice job. You want to be able to do those things and convert those so you can have time and possession differences. You can have more conversions, more runs, more opportunities at it. And all those things were affected by the game and the outcome.
Right here in the second row. When you go down 2 offensive linemen, does that change your play calling from a perspective?
You can't. You got to trust your guys. You got to believe in your guys. You got to go out there and execute your game plan. It's the reason it's called the team. You believe in your guys. You go out there and you do it. You rely heavily on the guys that's out there as veterans and that are able to do it. You're decisive in your decisions, and you go make them, and you live with them.
Speaking of that, the last third and fourth down there, the short runs.
Yes.
Would you feel good about those play calls, or would you like to do those over given the result?
Obviously, you don't feel good about them now. They didn't work, right? But you run one up the middle with Tyler Algier. You don't get it. You get knocked back. You get no yards on that play, and you get one on fourth down with Bijan, and you get no yards on that play. So you don't like the calls. You don't like the results. But, that was our plan. And we were decisive. We called them. We were very aggressive. And we lost the football game.
In general, did you feel like you'd have a little more success running the ball than you did against them today?
We really did. We thought we'd have more success. They did a nice job of stemming some zero packages and some palms looks, and being able to get a bunch of people at the line of scrimmage. They did a nice job shooting some gaps, making some plays. They're a good football team. You know, Bolton did a really nice job of being able to shoot the gap and really make some plays. You know, all those guys. Chris Jones, this was Chris Jones, and I mean, that's a good football team. That is a very good football team. And they were able to come out today and bow up and stop the run. And vice versa, we were not. They ran the ball pretty well.
Overall, were you pleased with the play of your defense?
It's hard to say you're pleased with the play of your defense. You know, like, you don't choose sides up here. You know, you don't pat people in the back for losses. You know, we're not here to do that. You know, we played well enough to give ourselves a chance to win the football game, but there's always things you can do better.
How do you assess where your ball club is at? Each of these being one-score games in the first 3.
We're 1-2. It's pretty easy. The record assesses it for you.
Does the fact that you have division opponents in the next 2 weeks salve some of that, because you know you sort of have an opportunity in front of you to get right back in?
You know, we got the pen in our hand, and, you know, we can't worry about the next 2 weeks.
On top of milk.
Okay. So accidentally pushed the button a little too early.
Oh, cool. Go ahead.
All right, so let's talk about the Braves. It's been an interesting season for the Bravos. They have certainly dealt with the injury bug more than enough. And now it comes down to this final series with the Mets. A 3-game set starts on Tuesday. Essentially, they're 2 games back behind the Diamondbacks and the Mets right now. They basically need a sweep to control their own destiny.
Interesting year, more interesting finish.
Yes.
How crazy is that? You play 160 what games?
2, right?
Okay,
160?
so they played 155, 156, and now it all comes down. The entire year comes down to the next like 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
And there's still a possibility, but they're looking for one of those wild
It's
card
slim.
spots.
It's a slim chance, but hey, they still got a chance. They could do it.
I mean, the pitching
For
duel is
sure.
going to be crazy. I believe it's Chris Sale Tuesday,
Yep.
Spencer Schwallenbach Wednesday, and then Thursday's Max Fried.
Hey, you have arms.
You do.
That's not the problem. You got to get a consistent offense.
You got to get those bats hot. You got to
Hey,
get those
Ozzy
bats
Albies
hot.
is back. He had a
He is?
homer. I believe yesterday. He had a homer in his first game back against the Marlins. So, a little bit of a positive trend.
Correct. Chris
but
Sale hopefully will
Chris Sale,
propel you
I mean,
to get
if
that first game win.
That's like it's not automatic, but it is.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he's at least top 2
Yeah.
in the Cy Young this year.
Everything I've been seeing has him first.
He's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
his year has been tremendous. So he has picked up a lot of slack where the bats have fallen off. Michael Harris continues to rip. Matt
Ozuna
Olson
got
is
that
not
back.
as consistent, but
No.
when he hits, man, he hits so much. And he hits the ball super far.
Yep.
And Ozuna kind of fell off a little
to
bit,
maybe
but
find
he's
a footing
finally
again.
coming back. So you do have a lot of, positive trending upwards, but you still have Laureano. Let's see,
Gio.
RC is still out there. It's just a little bit of a hodgepodge. You've got a ton of injuries, and if you told me this is where they were going to be at the end of the year, after Strider and Acuna got hurt, you might take it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not ideal, but neither is losing 4, 5, 6, 7 starters
No.
at some point during the year. So
Another team that's also fighting for to stay alive, essentially, is the Atlanta Dream. Made it to the postseason for the 2nd straight year, facing the New York Liberty. They beat them in the regular season finale to propel them to the postseason to face the Liberty.
Yeah.
Lost in game 1, 83-69. They are back at it tomorrow on Tuesday at 7:30. Do or die, they must win. If they do win, it goes to a decisive game 3, which will actually be here in Atlanta
that'd be
on
pretty nice.
Thursday, I believe.
That'd be
maybe
pretty nice.
later?
Yeah, so they play a 1-1-1
Yeah. So
or 2-1. Sorry. Yeah.
Tina Charles, nonetheless, has been absolutely elite the entire season.
Absolute beast.
So we'll see how they fare in that game. Hopefully, they're able to keep the season going.
Yep.
But let's talk about the game. That is
The game.
The game.
Oh well,
of the entire week.
don't upset any Ohio State, Michigan fans over here. The game. I mean, it is the game. To be fair, it's been the game. You know.
The game.
So yeah. I get it.
Anyway, Georgia will travel to Tuscaloosa for the first time since 2020 to face Alabama. And we heard from Kirby Smart, Smile Munden, Aaron Smith What was your biggest takeaway from the presser today?
I mean, I feel like this is going to be an incredible time. If you have a chance, definitely you want to be watching that game because it is going to be nonstop entertainment from the first whistle to the last. The last time Georgia went to Alabama was 2020 COVID. I believe Stetson Bennett was in start 3 or 4 of his career, so we all know how that turned out. But it was a little rocky in there, and a big reason normally it would be the crowd, but there was nobody. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so I'm looking for the crowd to definitely be a huge factor in that game because, I mean, not that they're not used to it because Sanford Stadium is pretty big, but like 100,000 is kind of crazy.
It's
I don't,
gonna be a
and
little
like
different.
Kentucky, no disrespect, like it's not the same environment, but even though it was pretty electric in there last week,
No,
so
I was cutting some.
it actually was. Yeah, I was a little
pretty-
surprised. Yeah, hey, Kroger Field, they turn up. They turn up for them groceries.
I also thought it was interesting that the players did reference the SEC championship game loss to Alabama as like something they don't really go back and watch tape on, but the final score alone.
But it's still in the back of their head.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially the upperclassmen. I mean, come on. You have a potential to win another national championship, and then you get all the way to SEC championship, and then you lose. And especially to that team, that coach, for whatever reason, it just seemed like Nick Saban had all the answers to Kirby Smart's teams, except for once in the championship game in 22. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what Kalen DeBoer has. New look offense, new look defense. It's not really close to the team, at least looking on the field, as to what it has been.
Yeah.
But they also seem like they can score in 2 seconds.
It's also Kalen
Really
DeBoer's
quick
first
stride.
SEC game.
First SEC game, and it's a top 5 matchup. You've got, a dominant Georgia team coming in. I mean, but I'll tell you what. If Georgia starts off slow like they have in 2 of their 3 games, good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, really all Tennessee Tech they didn't. But against
No.
Clemson and
Against Clemson
Kentucky,
and Kentucky, they have
So-
yet to score a touchdown in the first half.
That's
Forget
kinda crazy.
Tennessee Tech
It's kinda
because it's
crazy.
Tennessee Tech. No hate. But against Clemson and Kentucky, no touchdowns in the first half. That's a slow start.
Yeah.
Kirby talked about it today, too. We'll hear from him later on this week in Sports Tonight. But let's jump to what's on our mind because I have something that's on my mind.
Oh, go ahead. Let's go.
We have a new member to the Atlanta News First sports team. Would we like to call him over?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Aaron. Come on.
Come on.
All right, he's coming.
Don't be shy. I'll
He's
change
coming.
I'll change the lower third even.
Oh, great. Look at you.
In motion.
Dun, dun, dun. Because we like do things on the fly.
On the fly. All right.
Boom.
Step out.
Oh, hello. Here.
I bullied you off the spot.
Everybody, meet Aaron Ladd,
Hello, everybody.
the newest member to our team.
Glad to be here.
Aaron, tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. I like long walks on the beach, and I'm from the Atlanta area originally.
He does like run clubs,
I do like run
which is
clubs.
disgusting. Isn't that
Yeah,
gross?
it's a cool way to meet people. That's where all the young, fun people
That's
are.
where all the
at.
ladies are at, is what he's trying to say.
I didn't say. You said it, not me.
What else do you like to do for fun, Aaron?
I like hanging out with my friends, I like bar hopping. I like listening to live music. I have a nice vinyl records collection that I've been building up lately.
Top 3 vinyl records you have.
Ooh, I have an Earth, Wind, and Fire record, which is the first one that I ever got.
Hey, do you remember? It
The 21st night of September.
wasn't too long ago.
It wasn't at all.
Correct.
So, that one. Big fan of Childish Gambino. Shout out to Stone Mountain,
I
Georgia.
love
So
Childish
just got
Gambino.
Because of the internet vinyl at his last show.
World star
Really
before
excited.
rap.
Okay, so you know a
You
little
don't
bit.
even, what? Quit. I told you, I'm not just your average white girl, Aaron.
Is this on air right now? Are you airing that? My
yes,
goodness.
it will be on PSN.
Oh, jeez. To make sure to tune in. My parents will find a way to watch somehow. Sure.
Give the people a little bit of a preview of where you've made your stops, what you've gotten to cover.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back home. My last stop, I spent 4 years in Kansas City, Missouri, covering the Chiefs, Royals, Sporting Kansas City, Kansas City Current, which is their National Women's Soccer League team. Of course, I did a bunch of college coverage as well, K-State, KU, Mizzou. So really loved KC, miss KC. If any of the KC folks are watching Salute Casey. It'll always be part of my journey. Before that, I spent a year and 9 months in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and that was really fun. So it's good to be back on the southeastern time zone, if you will.
And went to Mizzou.
I'm a Tiger. That's my only college team.
So, people who watch this program will know that Ellie also went to Mizzou, right? She went to Mizzou.
Okay,
Huge
I didn't know
Mizzou
that.
fan.
All right, we got some Tigers in the
So-
newsroom.
Aaron and Ellie can go crazy about that on the program.
Look, I mean, number 17 in the country right now. Come on, put some respect on
I
it.
think she thought you guys would be better.
It's undefeated. Yeah, how can you
just
be
saying.
nitpick undefeated? I guess
Is
there's
it
things-
ugly? Does it look ugly?
The result is the only thing that matters. Hopefully, the Tigers will be in Atlanta at the end of the year.
So you're new to sports tonight. Obviously, we do a rundown of topics.
Okay.
The last topic is always what is on your mind. You can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be sports related. It's wherever you want to take the show. So I will let you go first with what is on your mind today. It's your first day at the station.
Oh my goodness, first day at the station. There's been so much to digest, but I want to talk about the weather here. That's what's on my mind. What are we doing here? 90 plus degrees in late September. Wasn't expecting this. The pool is still open at my new apartment complex. Not a fan of that. I'm expecting it to be like hoodie weather, sweater weather. That's what's on my mind right
They
now.
opened the roof last night at the Benz for Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs, and it was musty in
Not a
there.
good idea.
It was musty.
Didn't like it.
I saw this on Twitter and thought it was hilarious. They said, I can't decide if Andy Reid is just nervous and sweating or he's really upset that he can't eat the free hot dogs. And I said, it might be both.
He's a big hot dog guy. He's a bigger cheeseburger guy. Andy loves to eat.
What's on my mind? Aaron did cover the Chiefs for a few years. Before we have about 3 minutes left on the program. Give me 3 takeaways from the game last night. And it could be Chiefs related or Falcons related.
Chiefs related or Falcons related. I'll start with the Falcons. This is a team and an offense that really could have benefited from some preseason play. I think we talked about this on the ride back. Kirk looks rusty, doesn't look comfortable. You blitzed him on the end there, and he just kind of sped up his clock. Would have liked to have seen him get some preseason play. On the Chiefs side of things, it's always ugly. They always find a way to sneak it out of the way. And I've heard people say this before, right? Like good teams find a way to win games and bad teams find a way to lose games. The Chiefs just seemingly always find a way to win a game at the end when it's close. But I'm not giving up on the Falcons yet. I think they could be 2-2 in this first 4. Obviously, the Saints are the next one up in division. Very important for the NFC South. 2-2 in the first 4 with a new quarterback, new coach. I don't think that's the sky falling here in Atlanta with a lot of season left to play, Bailey.
Yeah, I think when you look at these first 3 games, you would have thought the Falcons went 1-2, so you can't be too upset. I mentioned it to Lee. I think they have the right building blocks. They're getting there slowly,
Foundation
but
is there.
they're still in the work of it. Here's what I'm nervous about. We're heading into week 4. By week 4, I kind of believe that you are the team you are.
Just 4 games in.
4 games in, you have a good sample size.
Okay.
And I think that's what, like last year, I think about when Desmond Ridder was here, you saw some good plays, and then you saw some absolutely
I don't even
detrimental
want to hear
plays.
that name anymore around this city.
Listen, can I tell
please.
you, I got clowned for saying he would be benched by week 7.
You got clowned for that?
Clowned.
I hope you took your victory lap.
Oh, I sure did. I sure did. Because I think it was week 8, like heading into week 8, they benched him, and it was Taylor Heineke. If you got it, you got it. And if you don't, you just don't. Prediction for the Saints game, it's early on, but I'm going to throw that at you. You think they get the
I want to
dub?
see practice reports. You know, they have the offensive line injuries. I want to see what the status of that looks like. But the Saints have been scoring a lot of points. The Falcons' defense is going to be a tough challenge for them. I'll take Falcons in a close one.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'll let you change your mind if we get closer throughout the week. But you'll want to join us here on Sports Tonight throughout the week. Obviously, the series with the Mets is a big one at Truist Park. We'll have all the latest for the Braves. We'll also continue to preview Georgia as they get ready for Alabama. We'll hear from head coach Kirby Smart later in the week. And then we'll see what's happening with the Falcons on the injury front and what they're preparing for in Derek Carr and the Saints. But that will do it for this edition of Sports Night. For Aaron Ladd and Lee Smith,
Debut episode. Let's go.
I'm Bailey Burmaster. All of you have a great night.